Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is James, and you're watching Blue Dog Reptiles. Now, today we are talking about this little guy. Can you guess what he is? Well, I'll give you a hint. Spiky tail, big loose skin. You guessed it, he is a Uromastyx. But more specifically, what type of Uromastyx is he? Well, this is a baby Egyptian Uromastyx. And you're like, well, what's the difference between an Egyptian and a Saharan? Well, the Egyptian, for starters, well, before we get into him, let's talk about this. So, any animal that comes into my care goes through a quarantine process. That's actually why he's in here. This is why he just has paper towels on the bottom. He doesn't have sand or anything like that. These guys go through a 5-day quarantine to make sure that they're healthy before they actually go on the showroom floor. Isn't that right? Yes, you're so cute. So, back to that. Yeah, we have water, we have greens, all that for this guy. But, this little housing, so this is a 10-gallon. This will be nothing for this guy when he gets big. But, back to it. The Egyptian Uromastyx. Now these guys come from Egypt. They come from the Rocky Plains, the desert. These guys like it hot. The size of the tank that you'll need for something like this little guy, when these guys are babies, so like this, a 20 long would be perfectly fine for them. Typically it takes 3 to 5 years for them to hit full maturity and their full size, which is, get this, 30 inches. That's right, this little guy, who isn't more than 6-7 inches right now, is going to be 30 inches. When he's full size, he will need a minimum of a 5 to 6 foot long enclosure. Yeah, you just hanging out, checking out what's going on. You're like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? These guys are so cute. I mean, I love that prehistoric tail that they have. I mean, these guys are just built tanks. But yeah, you heard it right. These guys will need a 5 to 6 foot enclosure, so they will need a huge tank. The nice thing about these guys is you never have to worry about insects. I know that weirds some people out with crickets or mealworms. I gotta reposition him because he's trying to finagle away. But you don't have to worry about crickets or insects with these guys because these guys eat greens. Mustard greens, collard greens, it is the way to go for these guys, and they absolutely love that. These guys still do need their calcium, which you can dust on their greens, which is very, very simple. Honestly, they're like pet dogs if you work with them a lot when they're babies, and they know when it's feeding time. And the nice thing is you're already getting salads and fruits and vegetables for your family. Well, this is the newest member to your family, and you can just pour him a little plate. These guys, their diet is essentially very crucial when they're younger because they are growing and they're going to grow very rapidly. They'll eat daily versus an adult, which will eat every few days. Substrate for these guys, you can do kind of a rocky desert themed, lots of rocks because you want to retain that heat, and there's a reason I'm going to go for temperature. Now, there is controversy on whether or not you need a water dish because these guys are from the desert. I like to keep it in there just in case, but we do want to make sure that they're drinking, which if I don't see them active in the water dish or at least drinking, then I'll mist down their fruits and veggies. That way they're getting it that way and staying hydrated, because you don't want these little guys to get dehydrated, which is insane because the temperatures that these guys can handle, I would be just dying. But these guys sit up and love it. The temperature, get this. So lows is you don't want, on the cool side of your tank, you don't want it to get any lower than 65 degrees. So they can't handle too cold. But most people keep their houses around 70 degrees, which is perfect. the ambient temperature for these guys needs to be between 80 and 90 degrees. Still not bad for a dragon, but guess what? Here's their basking spot. You want to tell them, or should I? How about we both tell them? Okay. So their basking spot needs to be between 100 and 120 and 140 degrees. You heard that right. That is absolutely insane. Obviously, with babies, I wouldn't recommend going that extreme. I would set around 100 to 110. As adults, 100%, they're going to need that 120 to 140 because this actually kind of kickstarts them. If they get too cold, then they're not going to eat. So they want to be nice and warm so they can have a nice warm, which is crazy because you have a very hot area like that, and then they're going to, oh, he's tasting me. Are you hungry? But yeah, you have a hot temperature like that, and then you're putting in cold greens, and they're like, oh yeah, I like that warm lettuce. Ugh, that's gross. But anyway, one of the big deal breakers with these guys is humidity. These guys cannot do humidity. At the max, it needs to be between 20 and 30%, and that can be done just by lightly misting one of the rocks or lightly misting on top of their food. These guys can have a lot of health issues if there's too much humidity. Key factor would be like respiratory issues, and we don't want that with these little guys. You can boost up the humidity just a little bit. You can see this little one is actually going into shed right now. You can see a little bit right there. But that doesn't mean go and soak these guys. You can lightly dip their feet or use a soft bristle toothbrush to kind of help get them shut off, or you can use your fingers as well. But we definitely don't want to fully submerge these guys. It would cause a lot of strain, and you'd be asking for health concerns with respiratory issues. These guys do need UV lights, as they are from the desert, so they're going to spend all their time basking out in the sun, and then at night they're going to go hide in the rocks and cool down. So if you're thinking about getting one of the world's largest Uromastyx, who right now is so adorable, then come on down and check these guys out. These guys aren't that common. They came up on a list and I kind of had to jump on it. I do currently have two of these guys right now. One of them has already been released out onto the floor, and we just don't have space for this one, so he's just gonna hang out here in the quarantine room just till we get space. And you're like, well, where's his UV light? Where's his basking? Well, I took it down for the moment for the video because there was just a hardcore glare. But this is his basking dome right here. It's a ceramic that emits right in there. And then I have the UV that stretches across all these quarantine tanks. And that is so that we can provide them the best health possible. But yeah, if you want a very, very cute animal, and are you thinking about a Uromastyx? Now, if you do want something like a Uromastyx that doesn't grow to the size of these guys, then I would recommend going with the Saharan. They don't get the size or the girth of these guys. These guys can weigh pounds. I mean, they look like little dogs, and that's just insane. You went down? You went down so you can look around? There you. So, these guys are incredibly awesome. I absolutely love Uromastyx. They're one of my favorite lizards, and they have such an amazing personality on them. So, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. We've been bringing daily shorts videos to you every single day for the last week, and we're going to continue doing that. If you like it, make sure to give us a thumbs up. And thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are helping our channel grow so rapidly, and we greatly appreciate that. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing We bring you educational videos every Friday with glimpses of short videos every single day. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you want one, come get them. We'll see you guys next Friday. And special treat, next Friday, we're actually doing our first ever live stream because we did hit 50 subscribers. So thank you for that. So make sure to tune in next Friday for the live stream. And you want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye? No, you just want to go back to sleep. Okay. Thanks, guys.